Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. Today, I have a lesson for you called Hemispheres. Are you ready? Let's go. All right, let's start with what I'm pretty sure you already know. What is a sphere? Now, a sphere isn't a circle. A circle is flat. A sphere is three-dimensional. It's a ball shape. So I've got a ball shape to show you right here. See? See how it's not flat, it's round. It has to be round to be a sphere. A circle doesn't count. This belongs to my dog. Well, what we're here to talk about today is hemispheres. So what is a hemisphere? Well, take that round ball shape and just cut it in half so that you've only got half of it now. That is a hemisphere. The word hemi means half, and the word sphere means ball. So a hemisphere is half of a ball. We use the word hemisphere to help us talk about the globe. Now, there are two ways to cut the world into hemispheres, okay? So imagine your world, it's right here. You've got the world in your hands, here it is. And then imagine a space alien with a flaming sword that's gonna come and just whack the world in half. All right, so if you break it apart this way, so you have an eastern half and a western half, okay? That's one way to break the hemispheres. The other way is like this. Here's your ball. And now imagine again, here comes that space alien with a flaming sword and then cuts it in half this way. Now there's two halves, a northern half and a southern half. You can't divide, you can't cut into north, south, east, west. It doesn't work because then they're not halves. You can cut hemispheres two ways, up and down this way or side to side that way. Those are the only two ways you can do it. Now, here's a picture of my globe with the imaginary space alien has just cut everybody in half. There we go. The line that we use as geographers to cut the Earth into a northern hemisphere and a southern hemisphere is called the equator. It's exactly at the widest point of the Earth. Hint, that's going to be on the test. Just let you know. Now, if we were going to cut the Earth into east and west, so that we have a western hemisphere and an eastern hemisphere, then we divide it along the prime meridian. Now, I know that you guys have labeled your maps with the equator and the prime meridian already. This is one of the main things that the prime meridian is used for. So we can divide the eastern and the western hemispheres. Now, the equator goes all the way around the Earth like a belt. However, the prime meridian is more like a tie. It only goes down the front part. You need to have another line to come up the back again. The front of that circle is the prime meridian. The back of that circle is the international date line. That's the line that they use to start every new day, which is kind of cool. Okay, so let's talk a little bit more about the hemispheres. Here we are taking a look at the northern hemisphere. See how I've got the southern hemisphere kind of grayed out so you can't see it. So I want you to just concentrate on this part of the northern hemisphere. Also over here, see I've got this lovely round map. This is taking the globe and looking down at it from the top, as though it was an ice cream sundae with a cherry on top, and you're looking down at that cherry, right? That's the North Pole. So this is looking down at the globe from the top, so you can see the whole northern hemisphere right here. And here it is from the side, okay? Now, I want you to make a list of all the continents that are in the northern hemisphere. Now, there's a catch. Some of them are only in part way. I want you to count every single one, even the ones that are only in a little bit. Can you do that? All right, go ahead. Are you done? Perfect. All right, let's move on to the next one. So now we're looking at the southern hemisphere. See, the exact same as the last one. See how I've grayed out the top half, and then the bottom half is lit up now. And if we look over here at our round circle, you can see that as though somebody picked up the bottom of the earth and was looking at the underside of it. This smack in the middle, that's the North Pole. So we're taking a look here at the bottom of the earth, or you can look at it from the side right here. Either way, now I want you to list all of the continents that are in the southern hemisphere, even ones that are only part way in the southern hemisphere. Not just all the way, but the ones that are part way. That counts too. All right? Good. Good. All right, let's move on to the next page. Now we're going to divide the earth in half, east and west instead of north and south. So here we're looking at the western hemisphere. See how this part is bright and this part is dark? We're ignoring that. And if you look over here, this is the western hemisphere, as though you were picking up the earth and looking at it from the side. Now before, we were looking from the top or bottom, but now we're going to look at the earth from the side. And we're going to see just the western half. Now I want you to tell me what continents are in the western hemisphere, even if they're only in a smidge. List every continent that is in the western hemisphere, even if it's only a little bit. Are you ready? Okay, go ahead. Are you done? Good. Now I know you know what's coming next, right? It's the Eastern Hemisphere, right? Let's take a look at what we have here. I've got the Eastern Hemisphere all nice and bright with now the Western Hemisphere has been shaded over. And on the side over here, I've got the side view of the Earth showing the Eastern Hemisphere. So you can use either one of these or both, it doesn't matter. I want you to list every continent in the Eastern Hemisphere. You got that? Everyone in the Eastern Hemisphere. Even the ones that are not entirely in the Eastern Hemisphere. If it's at least a little bit in there, count it. All right, go ahead. Are you finished? Great. Okay, let's move on. Now, this is the whole Earth, obviously. And as you are now an expert in hemispheres, we're going to go a little bit backwards. You are going to get a series of questions that has each one of the continents. And I want you to tell me what hemisphere each continent is in. Each continent is going to be in at least two, and some of them are in all four. Which ones would those be? All right, just follow the prompts and answer the question, and I'll be here as soon as you're done. Go. Phew, that took quite a long time, but you did great. All right, now we're going to do the same thing again, but this time with the oceans. So I want you to list the oceans, and I want you to tell me which hemisphere each ocean is in. Just follow the prompts and answer the questions. Good. Did you finish? Amazing. You did great. Okay, that's it. We're all done with hemispheres. Bye.